Welcome back, fam, to the Threshold Agenda. Hopefully, you had a great night. And I'm proud to say that you are still in the land of the living. Thank God, right? Anybody heard you are what you eat? Yeah. I was talking to a young man at church, and that's going to bring up today's topic. Today's topic is seasons. I was talking to a young man at church, and he said he was one day, he liked strawberries. So he was eating strawberries. And he said his grandmother looked at him and said, "What you eating?" And he said, "He's eating strawberries." And she asked a peculiar question. She asked why. And he said, "Because he likes strawberries." And she paused and she said, "But they're not in season." And he didn't know how to respond to that. He didn't know what she was actually saying. But later on, she's like, you're not supposed to be eating strawberries. Even though you like strawberries, they're not in season. You're not supposed to consume those things. In the book of Revelation, the tree of life also produces its fruits according to its seasons. One of the things I started to notice about what's happening with us is that we also are not eating our fruit in season. Seasons, and you may not know all the seasons, but if you pay attention, usually the trees or whatever, they bear their fruit in due season. So do people. People also bear fruit in due season. The Bible talks about it and explains things and gives examples of us all the time as if we're trees or bushes, or we are plants and vines and things like that. We are to produce fruit, right? That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to get back on here, because for a long time I wasn't producing fruit, nor was I consuming the right fruit in due season. So, as an example, I started to pay attention to, even did Jesus go through that? Yes. Here's the scripture about Jesus. It's funny. I actually kind of didn't understand it for a while, and I thought it was kind of funny because the way the scripture says it. When Jesus was done with his fasting, I think at one point, or he was doing work. I can't remember where. I don't want to get this wrong. I need to go ahead and find that scripture right. But when Jesus went up to the fig tree, and it said he was hungry, and he climbed the tree, and it said that he didn't find any figs on it. Then it said and Jesus answered. I thought that was funny. It said Jesus answered. You answered. The tree ain't say nothing. Yeah, it did. Because it said that the tree had leaves. It had green leaves. It said it was in season. But when he climbed up in the tree, looked up in the tree, there was not one fig. Now, some people say, well, people could have eaten all the figs off of it, and it could have been plucked, bare. Um, no, if you know anything about plants, when you pluck, or when you start taking fruit down while it's in season, it'll start producing more. And also, I really don't think that they would put that in the scripture if that was if people just ate the tree, and he cursed the tree for no reason. No, but he wouldn't have answered. Remember, Jesus knew all things. So he cursed the tree because it had basically said it was in season, which means it's supposed to produce the fruit thereof. So since you lied to him, you deceived him, he basically ceased its existence, and it withered away in that same hour when he cursed it. It would never bear fruit again. I don't want to become like that fig tree. Neither would I like you to become like that fig tree. So we need to actually watch the fruit that we consume. Watch the food we consume. I know, and looking at me, look, don't play with me. I'm not under illusions. I'm a little overweight, so I need to watch all the food, whether it's fruit or not. I need to eat more of the fruit and less of the other stuff that's definitely not in season, right? Some of the stuff we ain't supposed to be eating at all, right? But that's what I'm saying. We, not you, we all, need to actually take the time and practice consuming the foods and the things that are in season, because it will reflect and manifest itself in our bodies and in our psyche and in our spirit. You can only give what you got. If you receive contaminated food, if you receive a lot of foolishness and things like that, you can only really regurgitate or put out foolishness and contaminated results. It's hard to do that. That's not how you were made, right? So I encourage everybody today that we all, myself too. David, encourage yourself, dog. I'm gonna encourage myself too. I encourage all of us to actually take out the time to try to practice consuming foods, consuming material, consuming thoughts and ideas that are actually beneficial, not just to yourself, but to others. Because if it's just beneficial to yourself, it actually contaminates you. If you can't give it back out, if you can't get it back out and it actually feeds somebody else, it's probably not righteous enough material. Then you shouldn't be consuming it. But consuming the material is not enough. You actually have to execute it, right? That's why I'm here. So look, I encourage you, grab a camera, get a microphone, or the camera can record you. You see, I put myself out. This is what I was talking about when I put myself in there. I put myself in a situation, somewhat. Some of it is circumstantial. A lot of it's circumstantial, but I put myself in a situation to where I myself wasn't consuming the right fruit, the right foods, and therefore I could not put out things that people and anybody else could ingest. It wasn't in season. I was eating rotten stuff. I was eating just stuff. Right now you can go to the supermarket and you can eat watermelon in August, September, October, November. Like, wait a minute. How do I get watermelon in November? You're not supposed to be eating watermelon in November. It's way out of season. Where'd you get it from? Well, you got it from another place. You're not supposed to consume that food. If you notice anything about allergies and anything, like right now, you eat. One of the ways to get over allergies uh, is to consume the honey, the local honey. If you have allergies here in Florida, Northwest Florida, there's a lot of pollen. And I learned what I learned is a little quick thing. I learned that they took away a lot of they stopped planting a lot of female trees. Yes, some people botanists know the difference in trees. Some of them are female trees, fruit bearing trees. So they took away a lot of the fruit bearing trees, not just here, but in a lot of places. So that means we have a lot of male trees, and male trees produce pollen. Well, a lot of people have allergic reactions and things to a lot of pollen. It's a bunch of pollen because the pollen has nowhere else to go. Our cars be covered in yellow. When after it rain, it's a bunch of yellow water or something like. What is that? It's pollen. And so in the season, people start having allergic reactions and breathing problems. Well, the fruit there's not the fruit. There's no fruit being produced. There's no female trees. One of the ways to get over that though is to consume the local honey. You can, if you are in Florida, I'm gonna tell you, any honey grown in in Colorado, if there are any bees out there, if any honey grown in Colorado, it's not gonna help you because it's not the same pollen. It's not, to get over a lot of allergies is consume in small quantities certain things about what you've been allergic to. Help remedy or alleviate or at least minimize the symptoms. But they're also in season two because it's not going to happen forever. Um, and you need to do it based on the land. So wherever we are, you're supposed to eat the fruit of the land that where you are. We're not supposed to be eating fruit and foods from all over the other place on a continuous basis unless things are in season where you are. We can get sick, but I'm not trying to get on that. I'm mostly talking about the um, spiritual seasons, not just the fruit, not just the consuming of the food, but also us. Lately, in my last video, I spoke of a Theo. Malcolm Jamal Warner. I call him Theo. I grew up with him as Theo. He passed. A lot of us think that he passed way too early, right? That's according to our timetable. But according to God, it was meant for him to go when he went, right? We don't want him, we don't like it. Whether you like it or not, it is how it is. We are not sovereign. We are not the creators. We are not the Lord. He is. Nevertheless, though, what the thing is, I don't know that man, but I consumed his work and the things that he did, mostly from the Cosby Show, but even after, just in his personal life, he did the work. He produced fruit. And a lot of testament is all these people, all these other celebrities talking about how he was and who he was to them. He produced fruit in due season in his time as Malcolm Jamal Warner on this plane. He produced the fruit, and I consumed that fruit. And I truly believe that the fruit that I consumed, whether it was forced on him, whether it wasn't really his idea, I do believe some of it was. Um, because I don't care what you say, he was real to me as Theo, even though he was acting. It took him to bring that out, and I appreciated Theo, and I learned how to be a boy and what it was like to have parents that are there. Even though I didn't grow up with both parents, I wanted Bill Cosby to be my dad because of his relationship with Theo, the only boy in the house. And I appreciated how he portrayed him, Malcolm and Eddie. I appreciated how he did, even in other things. He directed films, music videos, and things like that. Dancing. He did a lot of stuff outside of the Cosby Show. My case in point is he produced fruit, and I consumed that fruit, which was good. But it was only in the season. He's no longer here, so no matter what is. But the thing is, it's still here, so we can still consume what he did because of him doing what he did in due season. Now people can consume constantly, and that's why I'm on here. That's why I come here, because I don't know how long I have, but right now, I want to try to produce the fruit while I'm in season. I want to try to make sure that I do whatever I can to convey a message, even an idea, even a way of thinking. Just, man, I never thought of it like that. So that somebody can stop consuming this other stuff that's on social media and maybe come and just have a conversation with somebody who actually just want them to be better, right? I believe that this is the beginning of my season. And I would like for you to take part in that. Can't force you. Can't make you eat. Can't make you consume anything. But I want you to be a part of that. That being said, like, share, and subscribe so that somebody else can also take part in our conversations and consume and eat with us. They say break. Most people love to break bread with people. Hey, let's break bread. Please put in your comments about what season you have, the things that you're doing. You feel like you're in season. If not, I really believe if you stay here long enough, hopefully you'll start to be able to share the fruit that we have at this table at the Threshold Agenda. Uh, until then, till next time, I say peace out and be blessed.